Well, hi, welcome back. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for all the great feedback. It's been good getting some more subscribers, and so obviously I think I'm doing something that's mildly entertaining to watch. Today we're going to do something a little bit left of center, something inspired from my travels in Japan, and that is hamburger Japanese curry. For this one, I use this brand. I'm using the hot version, which we're getting into the cooler months, and I don't mind a bit of spice every now and again. And as you can see, I've got just some carrot. I've peeled some carrot, onion, and washed some potatoes and chopped them. It's all pretty rough. So a good thing for maybe a rushed weeknight, or you could even prepare the veg in advance and just have it in the fridge. Something else I do, which I think I've talked about in one of the other videos, is making up the hamburger patties. I'll go into that a little bit later. With it, just some short grain sushi rice. I just have a very cheap, I think it was $12 or $13 rice cooker from Kmart. It's great. I love it. Yeah, just make sure you wash your rice, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But also a dash of cooking sake. I don't always get this brand. I generally get it from the Japanese grocer here in Brisbane, but I wasn't over that way today. So without any further ado, I've just got my my casserole dish heating up, and this is all pretty easy, pretty casual. Into there, I'm just going to add some olive oil. All the instructions for this are actually on the packet. You don't need Google Translate, written in English on the side. The only thing that I would say is on the packet, and you'll see when I pull the curry out, it comes in like a large tablet form, a bit like a chocolate tablet. And it says to put those in once you break them into tablets. I find that if you do it that way, they can tend to sink into the mix and stick to the bottom of your pan, and you won't get as good coverage, and you won't get the thick curry that you're after. That's the way I like it, and that's the way I've had it in Japan. So I'm just going to grab these vegetables and start them off. So this recipe, with this amount of vegetables, it says on the packet serves 5. I don't know which 5 people they're feeding, but it certainly wouldn't feed 5 in my place. But a small family, and on the interestingly on the packet, it talks about putting your meat in the curry mix. I do that sometimes, but I like, when I'm doing the hamburger steak curry, I just like doing it with the veggies as sort of separate, and I'll try and make sure I cook it all and combine it so you can see the finished product today. So as you can hear, we've got those. Just want to make sure they don't stick. who doesn't love the smell of cooking onion? Yeah, just great. Whilst that's doing that, a couple of years ago I picked up one of these, I don't know if you can see it, dimpled spoons. I think I got it from Daiso many years ago, and they're great for just the shape and the way they're made and the dimples, especially with the short grain rice. Really good for getting in there and picking up the rice in it, and it won't all stick to the spoon when you're trying to serve out the rice. So I think that was, I don't know, $3 or $4. So not going to break the bank. I like to do it with the lid on. All my cast iron stuff, my griddle pan here, this all came from Aldi, and especially this griddle pan, it has been absolutely thrashed to within an inch of its life, and it still goes strong. I obviously don't put it in the dishwasher, I hand wash it, but just keep it lightly greased, and it's beautiful for cooking steak. You'll see tonight cooking the hamburgers, and yeah, I just rate it. And as I said, I think it was in my first or second video, living well, but trying to work smarter, not harder, and you know, save a few dollars. And just on that, I've had some really great feedback from people this week. Good friend of mine, Davey Runham, you know who you are, mate. Thanks very much for the suggestions, and I will get onto the katsu, mate. But if you're willing to have a lash at the katsu yourself, this is the best thing that goes with your katsu curry. But yeah, we'll touch on that another time. So those veggies have had a little while just to fry off. Soften a bit. So what I'll do now, the recipe on the box calls for 540. I've just got mils of water, so I've just got that there. I'll put that in. Now, I'm going to give that a stir. And I'm going to bring that up to a boil. And I'll do that quicker by putting the lid on. Whilst that's happening, I'll go back to I made up these hamburgers this afternoon. I just made it up out of a small pack of just regular beef mince. Normally what I would do is I buy the 2 kilo pack of beef mince from Aldi, and I'll make up a few of these with a few little tools I'll show you later, or just one in particular. And I freeze them, and they're great. They're versatile. They're great for obviously hamburgers. They're great for this. If you're in a rush, you can pull them out of the freezer, defrost them, turn them into a savory mince. It's just so versatile. The amount of times these things have saved my bacon on a day where I haven't been planning particularly well. Yeah, and everyone seems to enjoy them. But going back to what I was saying, so the 2 kilos of beef mince, generally I get it from Aldi, and to that, the way I remember it is just the 222. So 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and 2 tablespoons of onion powder. And obviously with clean hands, just absolutely just massage the hell out of that, and mix it all through. And I'll add just a little bit of olive oil as a binder. And it probably won't go right for me tonight, Murphy's Law, but every other time I've done it, they seem to stick together and work well and taste good. But just with that base flavoring in, you can almost do anything with them. So the good thing about cooking with cast iron, it does take a little bit longer to heat up, but it distributes the heat a bit better, and it holds the heat better. Yeah, not the greatest fan of induction cooktops. This was in the house when I got here, so you got to go with what you got. I would prefer gas, but hey, it's a brave new world. So that's just coming up to a simmer now. So I will turn that down a bit, because that, as I said, will retain the heat. So one of the other things you'll notice in the logo for my channel relates to obviously cooking, and as the name says, it's a veterans cooking channel. So it's for everyone, but there will be times like tonight where I'm going to talk about a couple of things or make some statements, and because that's the other purpose of this channel, is to try and get rid of the stigma around PTSD. I think largely society doesn't really understand it, and I think some people have seen a few too many movies. So yeah, I want to try and get some discussions going there. And this cooking and making the videos, as I think I've said before, it helps me. And so it's all part of my journey. But I did write a few things down to say. And that's because these things can be a little bit difficult. So forgive my lack of looking at the camera. I'll try my best. I think I'm okay at public speaking, but this is a bit of a tough one. So the video's been a couple of days late because I've put a lot of thought into it, and I wrote it down because I just hope I think I get it right. So here we go. So in recent times, there was a unfortunate but all too common event that led to a defence veteran losing their life. The incident also involved police. For me, that really hits home. I don't know the persons involved or the exact circumstances. I did, as you know, serve in a green uniform, but predominantly in a blue uniform. So what's the link, you ask? Well, for me, it comes back to the concept of the blank check. I like to believe service in defence or police is a calling, not just a vocation. Otherwise, considering what we do or have done, who in their right mind would sign up? Bit of a caveat. Certainly, not everyone that signs up as a soldier or a police officer is a saint. However, we all sign the blank check. That says the buck stops with me, and I will stand between chaos and calm and do my best whenever called on. To say the quiet bit out loud we know we may lose our life. Not flippantly, not Hollywood style, just doing the job. Hence the blank check. A check written out by you to the maximum value that you can openly leave payable for the greater good. So for whatever reason, service stops, retirement, job change, in my case PTSD, things in life through no direct thought can unravel. First and foremost, you are not alone. I know these days that is a cliche. After all, there is a ribbon, a week or a day for everything. Not a bad thing, but I believe sometimes good intentions get lost in unnecessary noise. It's just me being cranky and middle-aged, I think. The skills you gain in the job should not be forgotten. In my experience, they kept me alive, focused, and gave me the ability to plan in crisis. Whether green or blue, recruit through to tactical operators, by default, we all have that, and it is a strength. The next quiet bit out loud. And it's all a bit of a journey, but alcohol is not your friend, but it never argues or judges, and unfortunately, it fits the culture. If you are self-medicating, no judgment here, ever. However, things and life can get very twisted and tragic quickly. Some or most of which you may not remember. We have all been to that job where old mate is drunk and causing a scene, for want of a better term. I know in my experience, it wasn't uncommon to think quietly, old mate has some shit going on. He's had a few too many, but for the most part, really just needs to sleep it off. Sleeping it off. A sound strategy. When things get a bit loose, that's not always possible. I get it. So here's a plan, because we are good at that. If you are having a struggle, or you feel like things are starting to unravel for you, first thing you probably need to do is see your GP, your doctor. And in line with that, be honest. You can't get the right help if you're not honest about what's going on for you. The second thing, physically write down or type out a crisis plan. Make sure it's easily accessible, even if you are not at your best. That should include your name, your age, and where you are. And it should also include important phone numbers. Phone numbers of friends or relatives that you know will have your back. But even then, there are more resources. And these are just some of the phone numbers that you can call if you're not 100%. Give them a ring, have a chat. Right or wrong, some will slip through the cracks. That is a sad and sobering fact. We all, though, have been, will be, or could be, as discussed, the difference between chaos and calm. So why not just be kind to yourself and be that difference for you? You trained for it after all. We can't fix our broken brothers and sisters. Not your job. But we can and must be there. Taking the first step to real and professional help takes honesty to self, takes effort, and the ability to be vulnerable. The last being the hardest of all. We simply weren't trained for that, to be vulnerable. I believe what we can and must do is be that bridge, or the person that crosses that bridge of vulnerability with our mates and colleagues when crisis comes calling. You are not alone. Here endeth the lesson. Glad I got that out of the way. So that those veggies and water, it smells great. They're just ticking along. And I'm just going to give those a bit of a check. So they've softened up quite nicely. And then I'll leave that for a moment. And I will put the griddle pan on. Now, whilst that's heating up, the burger patties, as I went through the recipe before, 2 kilos, 222, salt, garlic powder, onion powder. This little device, thing, contraption, picked this up for a couple of dollars on Temu. Makes it dependable and easy every time. Yeah, as I say, only a couple of dollars. Works great. The other thing that I do for the rice, and again, this thing cost me a couple of dollars online. It's actually 2 separate bowls. This one's like a real fine colander for rice, and it's important to wash your rice. It doesn't really matter what sort of cooking you're doing, but if you don't wash your rice, you will end up with that stodgy mess almost 100% of the time. And the trick is just to wash your rice, and especially short grain or sushi rice. I wash it until the water is just about clear, and that gives me good results nearly every time. So that's just about ready, and the griddle plate is just about ready. But what I'll do is I'll show you the curry tablets. They just pop out of the packet like that. And as you can see, they come in like a chocolate bar. And you're supposed to break those tablets off. However, little tip I picked up off someone else is I like to chop it up. I sort of do it as fine as I can, and then I'll go the other way. So you've just got nice little pieces that are less likely to sink to the bottom of the pot. And the other thing, to many people that make Japanese curry for the first time, and it does seem counterintuitive, is when you're making the curry, you've actually got to take the ingredients in the pot off the heat. A bit weird, I know. But I'm just going to throw this candidate on here. Might actually throw another one on. So whilst they're sizzling away, I'm actually going to take, those handles do get a bit hot. I'm actually going to take, I'll leave that burner on, but I'll turn it right down. But I'm actually going to put the curry into that mix. Good to the last drop. And I'm just going to give that a really good stir. Now what you'll see is that will actually thicken quite quickly. And the aroma is, it fills the house, and it's just great. I love it. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, that's getting there. That's fairly thick. So that burner's on its lowest setting. And how am I going for time? I've got my rice ready. As I said earlier, sushi rice, water, and a cheap rice cooker. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's just perfectly nice and fluffy and delicious. And the cooking sake really gives it just a unique but subtle flavour. Just tastes the best. So I'll just fluff that up, put the lid on, and I'll have a check how these burgers are going. A little bit underdone on that side, but we'll catch up on that. So I might just pause it there, and I'll come back to you when everything's ready. So welcome back. The short break. Sorry for the smokiness. Turn the extractor fan on. Hopefully that fixes it, but also doesn't ruin the audio. But those patties are just about ready. And as I said before, they're great just for hamburgers as well. Great flavour. So that cast iron is quite hot and will retain its heat. So I'm just going to turn that off while I get the rest of this stuff ready. So my U-Butte rice cooker. This is just how I do it. So I've still got my curry sauce there. And as you can see, it's golden and thick and just delicious with those vegetable flavours. So now that's done, take my burger patty, put that on top. My hamburger steak, a little bit of curry sauce on there. And that's the job done, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. A little bit longer. I'm still working on my timings and stuff. But yeah, have at it. Have a go. Thanks very much.